Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Great deals right now on Skeeter boats. That's the very first bass boat company in America. They know what they're doing. Right now through October 15th, get up to $2,500 back on select models of Skeeter at Madisonville Marine. I was down there this week. There is no better place to buy a boat. I say it every week. Just go down there, look in their showroom, look on their lot. You will agree, no better place to buy a boat than Madisonville Marine. All right. I want to welcome back our media members, Bob Hodge, Josh Ward, Jimmy Himes, Chuck Cavaleras. Time for a rapid fire segment. Each guy's going to have about 60 seconds to answer a specialized question just for you. Bob Hodge, in Jeremy Pruitt's first big game decision, first big in-game decision, he decided to go for it on 4th and goal at the 2-yard line, down 10-0 in the second quarter, got the touchdown on the play-action touchdown to Dominique Wood-Anderson, who you haven't mentioned yet, had a nice debut. What was your take on the idea that this guy is a gambler? I know last night on social media, a lot of people comparing that to Butch Jones' decision against Oklahoma. Yeah. Does Tennessee have a gambler?
Yes, I think Tennessee does have a gambler, and they have a gambler right up to the point where Tennessee gets better. Because if you'll notice, coaches, when they come in, when you don't have a lot of expectations, they take chances. People need to remember Butch Jones' first year against Georgia. They went for it on 4th down and out near the midfield, ran some kind of pitch, got a first down. Everybody said, my gosh, this guy's great.
Butch Stones.
Butch Stones.
Yes, Butch Stones. And then Phil Fulmer. Remember when he was early on, when he was an interim coach, he took some chances with Johnny Major's team that he didn't take later on. So I think as teams get better and expectations get higher, coaches get tighter. So yes, this year he may be a riverboat gambler.
Good answer. All right. Josh, was Jeremy Pruitt ready for the stage? And I mean, your take on his in-game decisions, his post-game presser, his demeanor, staying with Garantano, handling a rain delay in his first game, which was a real curveball for a head coach. Your thoughts on how he did in game one? Was he ready for the stage?
Yeah, I think overall he was. There was no hesitation from Jeremy Pruitt on that decision to go for it on 4th down in the first half. And after the game, the message wasn't necessarily from Jeremy Pruitt about the play itself or what they were trying to do within the game. He talked big picture about the culture he's trying to instill, and that is going to be a long-term play for Jeremy Pruitt. The halftime situation, that's probably something he's going to look back at and say, should I or should we as a coaching staff handle that differently? It was interesting that it was brought up on the sideline that it was a very different approach from Dana Holgorsen and how they handled it, very casual compared to Tennessee, which used the entire half to coach up the team. So I'd say he's going to look back, and Jeremy Pruitt was hard on himself after the game, took ownership of it. Fans are going to like that. But there's a lot to learn long-term, and Jeremy Pruitt's going to say that himself.
Of all the things I saw yesterday, I didn't think it looked too big for him. I thought his post-game press conference was perfect. I thought the fact that he said, look, we took our lumps, we're going to get better. There was a point where he said, it's not just the players, they got to be put in the right position. I didn't do enough of that today. I'll work on that. That's exactly what fans wanted to hear. There were a time or two when Butch Jones actually said, buck stops here, but it was not from game one on, and I think fans were looking for that. I thought Jeremy Pruitt sounded like a veteran coach in that post-game press conference. Jimmy Himes, what was your take on play calling from first-time play caller Tyson Helton?
A bit of a mixed bag. I thought his first-time play calling early was not very good. If you look at it, Tennessee on its first 5 first downs had minus 23 yards. On its first 7 first downs had minus 18. Thereafter, I thought he got a lot better. Thereafter, you had 11 first downs of at least 7 yards, so you showed more production there. I like the 4th down call where Tennessee threw the touchdown pass. You could argue, well, there was a blown coverage. Well, maybe the formation or something you did caused that. I did not like the play calling when Tennessee was at midfield and they were down 10-7 in the second quarter. They ran it a couple times to London. He got -1. I wasn't through with that. I also thought they should have tried to get the ball more often to Juwan Jennings. That would be another thing that I would knock. But overall, kind of a mixed bag on the play calling.
Chuck Cavaleras, we all did our preseason predictions last week, and you even said, starting to feel that vibe around town. You said, I'm buying in. Most people went 6-6. I proudly went 5-7 and was negative all week. You went 7-5. From what you saw yesterday, if I gave you a chance for a mulligan, would you take it, or do you say, nope, I'm sticking with it?
Well, let's just say I have a provisional Pro V1 in my pocket just in case I need to pull it out. But remember, my caveat was that's based on Tennessee starting no worse than 3-1. And if you could only beat either West Virginia or Florida, I think most of the fans would take that win over Florida. So let's see if they can start 3-1. Then I think you can get to 7.
You didn't answer. You Cavaliers your own question. 7-5. Would you take the mulligan, or you still think 7-5 after
I
what you saw
still
yesterday?
think it's within reach, but that is obviously the top of the mark.
Okay. Does everyone? Did anyone else walk out of that feeling better or worse about their prediction?
I said 5-7. I think if Garantano improves at the rate he improved from last year to this year, I think you could see 6-6 come out of this. If Garantano plays at that level the entire season, stays healthy.
I came out with the same level of concern of my 6-6 pick that I had going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of where Josh, I'm at the same level of concern because if I'm going to be wrong at my 6-6, I'm thinking it's more like 5-7 because the secondary's got some struggles. They have got to get better. Now, look, I don't think they'll face a passing team better than West Virginia, but they're still going to face some pretty good quarterbacks.
The secondary and offensive line has got to raise the bar.
Well, and I still wonder, it's not like the defensive front was tested by the best run game in America yesterday. So let's say you're facing a worse pass game in the SEC, but you're going to face some better run games in the SEC. So is there a wash on that front?
And can your depth hold up through SEC play? That's still to be determined.
I'll be talking about that a little later in the show. That's good. All right, good producing. When we come back, we'll bring the players back out. And I want to ask them, was this a smelling salts type game? There were a lot of people this whole offseason who thought this team was just mismanaged by Butch Jones. It was all coaching. Get the right coach in there, it's all fixed. Are things that simple? Can it still be that simple? Or are there bigger issues? Come on back, we'll discuss.